A simple move to another state was supposed to be the beginning of a brand new chapter for Jeff and Amy Taylor. But as they drive along the deserted roads, their journey quickly turns into a living nightmare. A ruthless gang that robs and kills random travelers is now hunting them, turning every single mile into a deadly trap. The movie is Breakdown. It all begins when Jeff and Amy pack up their things and head out across New Mexico. The endless, monotonous landscapes put Amy to sleep, and for just a second, Jeff loses concentration. He nearly crashes into a pickup truck that suddenly cuts onto the highway. At the next gas station, the aggressive driver confronts Jeff, blaming him for a near-fatal mistake. Eager to avoid a fight in the middle of nowhere, Jeff apologizes, and the couple gets back on the road. As they drive, Amy notices a donut box advertising a $90,000 jackpot, joking about how that kind of money could solve all their financial troubles. Suddenly, their car engine dies, leaving them completely stranded on the empty highway. They are far outside any cell service, unable to call for help. To make matters worse, the very same pickup truck flies past them, honking aggressively, before stopping in the distance, watching them like a predator tracking its prey. Just as panic sets in, a massive semi-truck pulls up, and its arrival scares the creepy pickup away. The friendly truck driver helps them move their car to the shoulder and offers a ride to the nearest diner so they can call a tow truck. Jeff refuses to leave their expensive vehicle unattended, so Amy decides to go alone with the driver to make the call, promising to wait for him at the diner. An hour passes, but no help arrives. Stranded and anxious, Jeff decides to take a closer look under the hood. He quickly notices that someone has intentionally disconnected the wires. He plugs them back in, the engine roars to life, and Jeff immediately speeds off toward the diner to find his wife. Walking into the diner, Jeff is shocked to find that Amy isn't there. Even worse, the owner and the customers swear they have never seen her. Panic sets in, and Jeff speeds down the highway to check the next roadside stop. Suddenly, he spots the familiar semi-truck. He chases it down and blocks its path, forcing it to stop. But the trucker acts completely clueless, claiming he has never seen Jeff before in his life, and that he must have the wrong guy. Stunned, Jeff looks inside the cabin, just as a police car happens to drive by. Jeff flags down the officer and reports his missing wife, but the driver, who calls himself Red, keeps denying everything. The deputy searches the truck, but finds absolutely nothing. He suggests that Jeff simply made a mistake, since many similar trucks travel this road. Over Jeff's desperate protests, the officer lets Red drive away and tells Jeff to file a report at the station. At the station, Jeff notices a wall covered in missing person posters. The sergeant explains that the FBI won't get involved for another 24 hours unless there is a ransom demand. Refusing to wait, Jeff goes back to the diner, but Amy is still gone, and the owner keeps insisting she never walked through the door. Out of sheer desperation, Jeff grabs a stack of receipts, hoping to find his wife's name on a food order. Furious, the owner pulls a gun and forces Jeff to leave. In the parking lot, Jeff is approached by a local named Billy, who claims he saw Amy. He says she arrived in one truck, switched to another, and headed north toward the river. Billy adds a chilling warning. Jeff is blind if he doesn't realize the police are involved in this. Jeff immediately drives off in that direction, trying to call an FBI agent he knows, but the cell service is still dead. Suddenly, he hits a dead end. The road ahead is blocked, and the hostile pickup truck traps him from behind. A man steps out, demanding Jeff get out of his vehicle. Instead, Jeff slams on the gas and takes off. The pickup gives chase, hunting him down a dirt road that leads straight into a trap blocked by heavy construction equipment. In a desperate bid to survive, Jeff drives his car straight into the river, and the raging current sweeps it downstream. The pursuer follows along the riverbank, and as the car hits shallow water, he opens fire. Jeff leaps out, and the rapids drag him away. After firing a few more shots, the gunman loses sight of him. Crawling onto the bank, Jeff watches another man arrive to help winch his car out of the water. But before he can move, a brutal blow to the head knocks him unconscious. He wakes up trapped in a car trunk. Billy tells him that Amy let slip that her husband owns a donut company and has massive savings. Another thug, Earl, demands to know the exact amount. Remembering their recent joke about the $90,000 jackpot, Jeff uses that exact number, which is enough to convince the kidnappers. When they let him out, Jeff is confronted by Red. Red points toward a nearby town and orders him to withdraw the money from a bank. Jeff has only 50 minutes to pull it off, while Billy distracts the sheriff with a fake distress call. Red warns him that they are monitoring his every move with an audio scanner, and if he tries to get help or runs out of time, they will send Amy back to him piece by piece. Inside the bank, Jeff asks to withdraw the $5,000 he actually has in his account. Terrified of being overheard, he barely moves his lips as he tries to whisper the truth to the bank teller. But a suspicious man sits down nearby, scaring him off. Jeff covers by claiming he was just in a bad accident. Spotting an opportunity, he discreetly slips a letter opener and some money straps off the desk. Walking out of the bank with the cash bag, Jeff heads toward the highway, where Earl pulls up, binds his hands, and drives him away into the unknown. While the kidnapper keeps mocking Jeff, telling him he only has himself to blame, Jeff secretly uses the hidden letter opener to cut through the tape on his wrists. Earl boasts that driving an expensive car into the middle of nowhere was their death sentence, but the moment Earl opens the money bag, he realizes it is filled with $1 bills. Before he can react, Jeff stabs him. A brutal struggle breaks out inside the moving vehicle, and Jeff barely manages to overpower Earl and grab his gun. Now in control, Jeff binds the kidnapper. By slamming on the gas and hitting the brakes repeatedly, he cuts off Earl's air supply, demanding to know where his wife is. Terrified, Earl finally confesses that he was supposed to bring the money to a truck stop where Red is waiting. Suddenly, a passing sheriff notices the truck's erratic driving and pulls them over. The officer orders Jeff to lie on the ground and tells the passenger to step out, but Earl manages to free his hands. He shoots the sheriff and turns his gun on Jeff, but the wounded officer uses his last ounce of strength to shoot and kill Earl. After calling for backup to help the bleeding sheriff, Jeff rushes to the truck stop to hunt down Red. He catches Red on a payphone, overhearing him tell Billy about the police shootout on the radio. Red orders Billy to bring Amy straight to his house, warning that the situation has become too dangerous. Determined not to lose the trucker, Jeff follows him to his rig. As the massive semi-truck pulls out of the station, Jeff risks his life by clinging to the undercarriage of the moving trailer. Crawling to a safe spot beneath the truck, he accidentally drops his only weapon. Hours later, Red arrives at his remote home, greeted by his wife and son. He asks for breakfast, mentioning that the rest of the crew will arrive soon to discuss their next move. Jeff slips inside the barn through the roof of the truck. There, he discovers a horrifying collection of stolen license plates, realizing this gang has been robbing and murdering unsuspecting travelers for years. Soon, Red's accomplices pull up, and watching them from above, Jeff sees them pull Amy's lifeless body from the truck. The kidnappers assume she suffocated and decide to bury her in the desert, but suddenly, she shows signs of life. Just then, Red's wife calls the men inside for breakfast. Instead of finishing the job, they lock Amy inside a freezer, leaving her with only 10 minutes of air. The moment the thugs leave the barn, Jeff drops down and desperately tries to break the lock. Realizing time is running out, he searches Earl's abandoned truck and finds a revolver. Jeff storms into the house and corners the entire gang in the kitchen. Holding them at gunpoint, he demands the keys to the freezer. Suddenly, Red's son walks in and aims a shotgun at Jeff. The trucker yells at the boy to shoot, but the kid hesitates, allowing Jeff to disarm him. In the chaos, Billy escapes into the night. Jeff forces the rest of the family into the barn, demanding Red's wife unlock the door. Lindsay, who refused to believe her husband was a murderer, opens the freezer to find a terrified, half-frozen woman. Amy is alive, and she rushes into Jeff's arms. Jeff forces the family inside the cellar, locks the door, and blocks it with a heavy toolbox, warning his wife that one kidnapper is still loose. They sprint to the family's truck to look for the keys, just as Billy manages to free the rest of the gang. Amy finds the keys, but before they can move, Red rams them with his massive semi-truck. The couple manages to start the engine and tear down the highway, but a high-speed chase begins. Billy and the remaining thugs pursue them relentlessly, with Red hot on their heels. Jeff refuses to back down. He clips Billy's car, sending it flipping into a fiery explosion. Distracted by the crash, the other thugs lose control and slam straight into Red's jackknifed trailer, taking them out of the game. Now, only Red is left, repeatedly ramming his massive rig into Jeff's pickup. As they reach a high bridge, Red delivers a crushing blow, spinning the pickup and pinning it against the edge. The psychotic trucker keeps pushing until the guardrails snap. The pickup dangles over the edge, pinning Amy's leg inside. With no other choice, Jeff climbs out and leaps onto the semi-truck, fighting Red face to face. The massive rig plummets off the bridge, miraculously catching onto a steel support beam. Perched high above the gorge, a brutal fight breaks out on top of the dangling truck. Red wraps a heavy chain around his fist, trying to throw Jeff off the edge. But Jeff outsmarts him. He grabs the chain, yanks the trucker forward, and sends Red screaming into the abyss. With the leader gone, Jeff climbs back up to the bridge and desperately pulls his wife out of the crushed pickup just in time. Bleeding and battered, Amy looks down and sees that Red miraculously survived the fall. Determined to end the nightmare once and for all, she releases the pickup's emergency brake. The heavy truck slides off the bridge and crushes the killer below, bringing their terrifying ordeal to a final, definitive end. Breakdown is a masterclass in survival thrillers, showing how an ordinary man can become unstoppable when his family is in danger. Kurt Russell delivers a powerful performance, perfectly capturing the shift from absolute panic to pure, calculated fury. It is a terrifying reminder of how a simple road trip can instantly turn into a deadly battle for life.